Okay. Hello, everyone. If you can hear me, just comment in the section that you can hear me. Welcome to the GDSC UI Info Session 2022. Please confirm if you can hear me, everyone, if you are watching this live on YouTube.
Yeah, I can get you from this. That's fine. I can get you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I want everyone to introduce themselves in the comment section, your name, and where you are joining us from. I know school is not in session, so you can just tell us your location and your name. Thank you. Yeah, if you can hear me, comment your name and your location in the comment section, in the chat section if you're on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, I see you, Abiodun, joining from Ibadan. Okay, welcome. Okay, Oluwanifemi joining from Lagos. Welcome. Yeah, and if you know your friends are supposed to be here, but then they are not here, you can share them the link and get everyone to join the call. Um, yeah. So for the first, the early comers, the early birds that got to the call, you guys will be getting free swags. That is jotters. So you can just drop your name or send your name to the admin of the WhatsApp group that you are on, right? So for being the first few people to join the call, right, you are winning like swags, jotters, right? So you can send your name to the admins of the WhatsApp group that you're on. Yeah, thank you everyone. So we'll get started now. Yeah, so the purpose of this session, like you all know, GDSC Solution Challenge. So we have the Google Developer Students Club in over 100 countries, and the number of GDSC clubs that we have is over 1,500. So that's like a large number. So the Solution Challenge is basically where all all these clubs come together and then work towards creating solutions to solve challenges. Yeah, so this year the solution challenge started in 2019 to 2020, 2021. This year 2022 is no exception, and the Google Developer Students Club would solve for one of the United Nations 17 sustainable development goals. So if you are familiar with the SDGs, kindly drop it in the chat section, any SDG that you're familiar with, so I'll know that we are all on the same page on this. Yeah, so the SDGs was created by the United Nations in 2015 to be achieved by 2013. Right now, we are in 2022, and that gives 8 more years till 2020 when they propose that the SDGs will be achieved. So if you know any of these SDGs, sustainable development goals, I mean that should not be a new thing, right? So you can just comment in the chat section right now. And yeah. Don't tell me that nobody knows the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Hi, Damlare. So nobody knows the SDGs. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take it as nobody knows the SDGs, but I want to believe that you guys know what SDGs are. So the SDGs are 17 in number and they aim to end. Okay, that's awesome. Zero hunger. Thank you, Luani Femi. They aim to end poverty, ensure prosperity, protect the planet. So different problems, hunger, poverty, clean energy, good water, there are a lot of them. So the solution challenge aims to solve one of the United Nations sustainable development goals. Yeah, no poverty, yes. So if you are going to be participating in the solution challenge, you have to choose at least one of the SDGs, but you can always choose more than one if you can solve for them, right? So that's the first step. You identify the idea that you want to solve for, and then you solve for them. So as okay, Ajoke Yusuf, quality education. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, guys, enough on my hand. That's awesome. So we are currently on the fourth slide, Brandon. So moving on, definitely if you're participating in the solution challenge, you will win prizes. So all participants receive a Google Developers digital profile badge that you can add to your profile as a badge, right? And an official certificate. So regardless if you win or not, everybody receives an official certificate. Yeah, and also if you're conversant with participating in hackathons, you get certificates for some of them, and yeah, that's really it. And also we have the top 50 teams, top 10 finalists, and contest finalists. Then before they choose the top three winners. So if you as a GDSC UI will be competing with over 15,000 GDSs all over the world, right? So like this is a global competition, and then they will choose like the top 50 teams. So you want to make sure that your idea is part of the top 50 teams, and you know that that will be like really strict. So that takes us to the judging criteria. So it's the judging criteria is divided into two parts. We have the impact and technology. The impact is 60 points, technology is 40 points. So that shows that the impact of your idea carries more marks. So it's also the technology carries mark, right? But you have to make sure that you are building a sustainable solution. Yeah. So the solution challenge, this is just an info session, right? So afterwards we'll create a group for everyone to join, and then you'll get to view the slides, and we'll send you guys resources and support for you guys to come up with your solution, and then we'll have a design sprint. So that's just by the way. Yeah, so moving on, the 2022 timeline is a really long one. I mean, every year the solution challenge is always a long one. It extends to July, August, such that the finalists get to contest, and then they choose the top three. So that's like a long. So in order for you to be in the game for that long, you have to make sure that you build a sustainable solution, like I said. So getting started, I want to believe that everyone on this call is a member of GDSC UI. I mean, like you are registered on the website. If you are not, you can signify, right? So the next step for you is to register for the social challenge. So it got launched on Monday, that was January 10th, and the website is currently open for people to register. I will be sharing the link later on for everyone to check that and register. But first, let's just get this. So immediately you register, you are going to register as individual. Basically, you register individually, not as a team. So after registering as an individual, you then go ahead to form your team in the GDSC club. You can have members from outside GDSC club, but at least one person must be a member of GDSC. Yeah. So after you do that, you guys brainstorm together and then you select a United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. So, for example, okay, let's have an interactive session right now. Um, I want you guys to drop in the chat section which SDG goals you would like to solve, right? So you can drop it in the chat section. As you we have 17. So if you are going to participate in solution challenge, which SDG goal would you be willing to identify a solution for? Yeah. So I'm waiting for your responses. Okay, so while that is going on, the next phase is design and build, design and build, design and build. So you are not just going straight to building, you are designing before building, right? So first thing you do, I don't know if any of one of you is conversant with brainstorming, ideation, design thinking. So you identify a solution. I mean, you guys would have a lot of ideas to solve a problem, right? Then you would do like a feasibility study to know, okay, which one would actually be more feasible, right? Then you identify a solution that your team wants to build. So immediately after that, of course, your team should have developers. Um, the team lead would definitely be the one to manage the project, and designers. That's very important. And yeah, so one thing that is very important when you are building your products, your projects, is that you must use at least a Google technology. So that's the main reason why GDSC is in a school campus. They want you guys to know about the Google technologies. We have a lot of them. We have Firebase, we have Flutter, we have Google Assistants, Google Maps. So, like for example, let's say you want to build a transportation app, you can have Google Maps um, that would show, okay, a location in Ibadan, okay, I'm going from here to here, that kind of thing. So that's you using a Google technology, right? And you can use Firebase to build your apps or filter. So just make sure that you are using at least a Google technology. Yeah. Okay. So I want to make sure that you are all following me. Can you mention a Google technology that you know? I might have mentioned it, I might have not. You can just drop it in the comments, in the chat section, so I can get to see it. Yeah. Mention a Google technology that you know, a Google technology. Okay, I'm still waiting for you guys' response. Okay, yeah, Google Map, Flutter. Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Okay, Google Clouds, Meet. Okay, that's cool. All right. Okay, so we're moving on now. So moving on, you learn and build. Um, you have front end guys, back end guys. The After you guys design your interface, that will be done by designer. Then the front end guys would design the front end interface, and back end would start using a technology to be the back end, right? So that's like a division or labor. So in order to make this a success, you guys have to share tasks among each other. Yeah, so this process is actually easy to say, but it's not that easy to build. I mean, some of you would have experience in working with teams to build something, Sometimes you say, okay, this thing is working, or is not, and then you have to, start over again. So you want to make sure that your foundation is very solid in order to have that to work, right? So that's very important that you go through the first phase of knowing what exactly you want to build before you build it. And then you test your solution. So this time you are not just building something that is not going to work. It has to work because of course you're competing with, like I said, over 1,500 GDSC in the world basically. So you have to build like a badass project, not just a calculator. Right. And then after you test the solution, you iterate. You can even give it to some users, your friends, maybe like 10 users that you can, vouch for to use your product, basically. Okay, so moving on, the next step is okay, after you are done, you have so all of this will happen between January, February, and then by March 31st, you get to record your demo video and you submit it so you can show us. You can have a voiceover talking about what your product does, everything you did building your product. It's just like a whole thing, right? And then you submit it. So officially the competition ends March 31st, and you can either submit your demo video before or by that time. So by April, so March, April, mid of April, you get to know the top 50 teams that qualify. And the reason why we are having this info session earlier is for you guys to start forming your teams and brainstorming ideas, right? So immediately you are done, you move on to you get to submit, and then top 50 gets chosen. They would go through mentoring in May. I think that will help them to like finalize their idea, their solution, their project to make it more tangible, basically. So that's free mentoring. And then in June, they will choose the top 10 finalists. They would have like a judging session for those 50 guys and 50 teams, and then they would announce the top 10 finalists. Um, so after that, July top three winners, they'll be announced live, and then we'll celebrate them physically. So that brings us to our to me to that brings me to introduce our speaker for today. He was one of the team that got to the finalist stage last year, Solution Challenge. His name is Brandon from University of Bramenda. I hope I'm right. Yeah, Team Flow, they built an app, and I think they are the first African um, GDSC to ever qualify. So if GDSC UI will be competing, so we have to make sure that we beat every other odds, right? So we have self-paced code labs for people that would just want to learn how to build stuff, Android, Firebase, TensorFlow, build actions, web, Flutter, cloud engineering, everything. So I'll be dropping those links on the group after this session, right? So immediately after this info session, we'll be having the opening event of the solution challenge for 2022 next week Wednesday. That's 19th of January. So it's like a global opening event, and I want everyone to attend. So yeah. Um, so yeah, this slide actually have like a lot of resources for you guys to use. So I will be sharing it with you guys in the group. But first, I need to drop the WhatsApp group link. Um, I have to send that through WhatsApp since we are on YouTube Live, right? So So yeah, if you have any questions, please just drop it. Afterwards, we'll be having Brandon to talk to us about his experience and how they got to be part of the top 10 finalists for the 2021 Solution Challenge, and then we'll get to learn best practices, basically. Yeah. So questions. Okay, I don't think we have any questions. Um. Okay, Brandon, the floor is yours.
Don't know. I don't know if you guys could get me well.
Brandon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can get you. Can you get me now? Hello, Victoria. Could you get me well?
Yes, the floor is yours.
Okay, looks like I got caught up with the poor network, but
Yeah. Yeah, so
okay.
you can get
So
started now.
okay, hello everyone. My name is Aluzo Brandon. I'm currently based in Cameroon. A little about me: I'm a mobile app developer and also a data scientist. So first of all, I'd like to thank you guys for joining this call. It's very, very important you join this early course because it's from this course that you get to know the key things about this competition. It's from this course that you get to know the experiences and one or two things that you need to jot down. So just to be clear, if you guys are getting me, you guys will just drop in the chat section probably a yes while I continue. So first of all, I would just like to share the little experience I had when actually it was not easy. It was not easy. Most of the times you think that you could probably build a drone. Trust me, everyone has that thought. But I would just like to say I would just like to give 3 tips. The first tip is take it simple, but have vision. Take it simple, but have vision. When I talk of taking it simple, I mean like don't think too far. Don't think too far. The fact that you're to solve a problem, it does not mean you're probably building maybe an AI or a robot, a high-end robot, but you're looking for something simple around you. You are looking for a problem that once you solve this problem, it could impact lives. It could impact a lot of lives. Then the second thing I have to say is focus on your community. Focus on your community. You cannot be having problems, let me say, in Nigeria, and then you're coming up with a solution that can target only problems maybe in the United States. Actually, I don't think that's the aim of this challenge. It's supposed to target your community that's back there in Nigeria. So focus on your community. Then the third, which is the last point, you have to be determined to learn and work with peers. You have to be determined to learn. You have to have listening ears. It's very, very important. Sometime last year, most of the ideas that came in during the that is when we're working on the platform, the ideas even came in from people who were not in the group. The ideas came in from people who were not in the group because they saw the interest. And I bet you, once people see the interest of this platform, they will collaborate and they will contribute. They will collaborate and they will contribute. So another thing too is getting to reaching the top 50 and the top 10. It's very possible for anybody. It's possible for anybody. Once you follow all these and at least to a certain extent, your solution meets these criteria very well. Trust me, you make it. This competition, last year, my friends and I thought this was something that probably could be gotten only by Indians. Because if you notice, once your solution plays a big impact on your community, you stand a better chance. And like Victoria said, it should be alongside the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which means that whatsoever you're building should tie with one or more of these goals, and you should use at least one Google technology. You should use at least one Google technology. So far, that's a small experience we had. That's a small experience we had. And I think if there are any questions could be dropped. if if there are any questions, sorry for the break. If there are any questions, I think you guys could drop questions down there so that we answer. So is does anyone ask a question?
Hello, everyone. I'm Emmanuel. I think Brandon is having some issues. He'll be back soon. Yeah, I think he'll soon be back. So just hold on. And if you have questions, please just write it down in the comment section.
Can anyone hear me? I think it's apologies for the network issue. Brandon just joined. So Brandon, can you hear me? You can continue. Brandon, you can continue. Oh, I think the network is really bad.
Okay, can you guys get me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome back.
Okay, thanks a lot. Sorry, the network here is not really the best. Okay, can you guys get me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
So,
Welcome back.
what I was trying to say is the main thing you should focus on in this competition, you should focus on number one, the impact your solution brings to your community. And it should not be something big. It should not be something big. Like last year, what we did was we have water problems back here in the University of Bamenda, and it was not like we built a system that can probably move around, go and fetch water, and then give it to students. No, we actually just built a small system with the use of the Google Maps to guide these students to water locations like streams and taps, because there are a lot of water points, but students don't know where those water points are, which actually brings a very big problem. So it was not like we're building a very very large or complex system, but we just built a small system using Google Maps. So you see how easy most of the time solving these problems could be. It should easy. You need to look for the problems that impact. So far as your solution impacts people, it's very very important. Trust me, it's very important. So I don't know if there are any questions. You could drop them down. You could drop them down in the chat section, and then we discuss about it. Does anyone ask a question? Thanks a lot. Sorry, the network here is not really the best. Okay, can you guys get me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, what I was trying to say is the main thing you should focus on in this competition, you should focus on number one, the impact your solution brings to your community. And it should not be something big. It should not be something big. Like last year, what we did was we have water problems back here in the University of Bamenda, and yeah, so if there are any questions, you guys could drop the questions down and then we answer. Victoria, I think I can hand it over to you now.
Okay, yes, thank you very much, Brandon, for that. I'm sure everyone would learn a thing or two from your experience. Yes, simplicity drives it. So if you have any question, um, please drop it now.
Yeah, okay, looks like I've seen a question concerning the voting.
Okay.
Okay, So concerning the voting, the voting stage was quite difficult. The voting stage was quite difficult for us because on social media, when it comes to voting, it's more about number one, the highest population. So I think the voting you're talking of, it should be when they were voting for the People's Choice Award, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the voting, I think it's Olo Lade is talking about. That's the voting, right? So, like I said, for us getting, how did you get through the voting stage? The last stage, I guess. The last stage for the voting, let me see. It was quite difficult. It was really quite difficult because the the voting, it was now based now on population, who could vote, who had the population to vote. So that was it. That was it. I don't know if this answers your question.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. I think that answers our question. And if not, Imoa. And of course, does anyone have any other question? So you might be wondering how many team members per team. We have 1 to 4 people per team. 1 to 4. The highest number of team members you can have is 4, and you can go solo, but I would advise you not to go solo. So you want to work with people on this. And like Brandon says, simplicity drives it. So you don't want to go into complicated stuff. You have just I think over 2 months from now. Yeah, March, February, January, yeah. Over 2 months from now to start building. So questions. If you have any questions, just drop it down. Yeah, so take away from this info session is that I would be sending a link for everyone that. Oh, I think you got a question, Brandon.
Um, yeah, I did. I actually got the question. So I think let me get this. It was more like we built so so concerning my experience, sorry for that. Concerning my experience, to be honest, it was quite difficult because all the times we had to submit, let me say the first round for the top 50, we had exams. The second time again, we had to submit for the top 10, we still had exams. So all the times that we're submitting for this, we had serious exams. And then it was not easy because actually we were like we were taking on a new technology to master it very well. Like Flutter, for example. So we started learning Flutter the very day we started building this app. So it was more of the determination. We started learning Flutter the very day we started building this app. I remember there were a lot of challenges we faced. We were building and it was not going. It was not going. But we were just so interested in solving this problem back here at the university. We were just so interested in solving the problem. So I think like I had some experience. It was not that easy. It was quite difficult. You're actually building something that first of all you don't know where to start, and then the technology you're using to build, you have no mastery of it. You have no mastery of it. So it was not that easy. It was quite tough. But trust me, once you have the zeal to solve this particular problem, that's the driving force. Your dopamine level just increases. That's the driving force. So I think that should answer Yusuf's question. Yusuf, does can this answer your question?
Yeah, I think that answers our question. Thank you for that, Brandon. And the fact that you mentioned that you were having exams and then you had to like continue. I think that's commendable. And for my school, I think throughout those 3 months, January, February, March, we should not be having exams. You just test basically, but we have not even resumed yet. So everyone has time, and it should not really look like we have time so we don't get to waste the time that we have now. So you guys can just go ahead and start brainstorming ideas. So I have a question for you, Brandon.
Okay.
You mentioned you submitted several um you made several submissions at the first stage, second stage. So what stage was your project at the first time when you submitted
Okay,
before
yeah,
you?
thanks a lot, Victoria. This is a very, very important question. Honestly, it's a very important question because students have the mentality or the idea that your project needs to be complete before you're doing the submissions for this first stage. But that's not the case. During the first stage, we basically just came out with the app. Like it was not even fully functional. By then, you could not really use the app to go to these water points, but the app was there with the map. That is, the map was already inside the app, but it was not that functional. So what these judges who want to see is the fact that you are living from a probably an idea. From that idea, you go to a prototype because we never submitted the complete app during the first submissions. Like I said, it was never fully functional. There are a lot of things that we never came out with. I mean, it was just the app, it was just a skeleton that was there with the maps. So it was when we move on now to the next submission that we built all of these functionalities and added them. So I think Victoria, can that answer your question?
Yeah, that answered my question. Thank you.
Then I think
Yeah. So
there's another question down there. Is it a must to have users before submitting the demo video? Okay. So this is it. Once you build your prototype, it's not a must. You must not, when they talk of users, it does not mean you already have people downloading it on Play Store. To be honest, it was after the competitions that we put this app on Play Store. It was after the competitions that we placed this app on Play Store. Like after the finals, that our app went live on Play Store. What happened was when we finished building the app, in every stage of the app, I'm sure some of you here, they are probably doing computer engineering. We know about beta testing. We know about beta testing. When you build your platform, you can give it out to your friends. You can you give it out to your friends to test it and give you user feedback. So basically, that's what it entails. So you must not have users before submitting demo video. You must not have users before submitting the demo video.
okay, thank you for that, Brandon, for sharing your experiences. Does anyone have any more questions? Okay, while we wait for anyone to drop their questions, um, like I said at the beginning of the call, we have the Solution Challenge kickoff event. You would see it on the banner scrolling on the screen right now, January 19th, Wednesday. So we have a group already for people that want to participate in the Solution Challenge. I would send the link to all the groups for everyone to join, and you will get all the resources that you need. The slide will be shared, everything that you need, and then you can get to ask any more questions that you have um, on the way.
I would like to add something, please. Going back to, I think the last question I answered was from Ololade concerning is it a must to have users before submitting the demo video? Now, there's something I want to add. During the first phase of the submission, that is getting to the top 50, right? Those judges don't expect that your solution should already have a lot of users. Why? Because it's not something you're building. But one tip I would like to give you guys is once you make it to the top 10, by the time you're submitting for the top 10, by that's when you're doing the, I think, yeah, when you're doing the last submission for the top 10, right? Your platform should already be out there for users to be using. Ours was not on Play Store, but we're sharing it. We created a website that people could go there and download the app, right? During that time. So one important thing is when you're moving to that next stage, it's very, very important that the judges really see how people have started using this. If possible, when you're in your submissions, you could include statistics. of maybe students who have used your platform, of people or people in the community who have used your platform, and how impactful it is. So that I just said I should come back.
Okay. Thank you, Brandon. I'm sure Olalade got what you said. So yeah, about the quick recap. Okay, please hold on. Samuel, is that question for me or for Brandon? Samuel Adeniran. Samuel Adeniran. Okay. Um, I guess it's not on the call right now. So
I think
you said okay. So moving on, I'll be sharing the slides to the group later on today, so you can look forward to that and then go through the slides and get more insights into what the event is about. Also, don't forget we have the kickoff event January 19th on Wednesday. We'll have like this is like a global event. You can come and listen to what Erica has to say about the solution challenge. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining the call. I hope the session was informative. Yeah, thank you everyone. Have a lovely day ahead. Bye. Thank you, Brandon.
welcome, Victoria.